Hey lovelies. So as we sit to consume information which is given to us on the internet, we have to also be careful to make sure it fits our narrative. And if it doesn't fit your narrative, then it's not for you. A lot of people don't know how to differentiate what works for them and what doesn't work for them, and that's why it triggers a lot of anger in them. Now, there's a whole new topic about forgiving baby daddies and all that, and let me give my 2 cents on it. Now, I will forever tell every woman, listen, if you're not ready to be a parent, don't have a child. If you're not married, don't have a child. If you personally cannot financially take care of that child, don't have a child. Now, it became a trend at some points that women, just to capture men, will have children for them in the hopes that maybe it will work out with them. And it doesn't ever work out. And now you're stuck with children you did not prepare for, and you don't know the beginning or the ending of how to raise a child. And mind you, every child comes with its own personal manual. No child is the same. What works for my kid wouldn't work for your kid. Now, let's not also forget that even when you are married, you're still most likely going to be a single parent. A lot of men feel like it is just enough to provide financially, and when it comes to everything that has to do with educating that child, they leave it for you as a woman. When it comes to nurturing the child, taking care of the child, caring for the home, they leave it for you. That makes you a single married woman. Everyone always has this fantasy of, oh, they're going to get married and it's going to last forever. That is how it should be. And the truth is, if people took the time to actually figure out if they are compatible with their partners from the beginning and see how they move during crisis and genuinely are attracted to their partner, chances are they will end up till the gray days. But majority of you jump into relationships and marriages based on just physical attraction. You know nothing about your partner. When you guys have disagreements, you just don't get along. But because you're so sexually attracted to that person, you think it's love. You confuse attraction and lust for love always. And it always lands you in trouble. And hey, I'm not judging, because this coconut head of mine made the same exact mistake. Even when my spirit, my soul, everything in me was telling me, this ain't right for you, this ain't right for you. It got to the point that I had invested so much time and something in my brain kept saying, I don't want to lose anymore. I have lost so much already, so I'm just going to stay here and hope to God it works. It doesn't ever work. Something that wasn't meant to be for you would not be for you. Not everything in life is going to be positive. Some relationships are there to teach you growth. Some relationships are there to teach you boundaries. But it becomes more complicated when you have children in the mix. Because on one side you tell yourself, oh, I don't want my child not to have a father. And on the other hand, you're actually destroying that child more because he gets to live in toxicity. He sees how you are aggressive with each other. The first years of a child is the most important years of a child. That's when he understands love, character building, and so on. But when you infuse your child with damaging energy, all in the name of, oh, I want to be with someone, you destroy that child. You create more trauma for that child in the long run. Now, I will never sit down here and tell you that being a single mother is easy. First of all, being a parent, period, is difficult. Whether you're with your husband or not with your husband, it is hard. Except you come from a very secure financial background, and even when there's money involved in it, it still takes a lot of responsibility to raise that child. Unfortunately, a lot of mothers are going to end up in the situation, just like me, that they are single mothers who came from very toxic backgrounds. And this whole notion on the internet of, oh, let's forgive and no, you have to know what works for you. Now, I have always been of the notion, if a relationship doesn't work with you and your partner and you happen to have children in the mix, it is fine for you and your partner to split. But if the father is a good father and is responsible for his child, then you have to put your emotions aside and let the child have a relationship with that father. But now that's not the case, is it, for most of you? Most of you lived in toxic backgrounds where the man did absolutely nothing for your kids. You displayed abuse at every chance you got. And now this new narrative on the internet of how, oh, let's forgive and forget. You have to learn to forgive for yourself, for your own state of mind, so you can move on freely. And at the same time, you have the right to teach your child not to be angry for the things they observed in that family. You don't want to teach your child resentment and hate. Because at the end of the day, if you keep that child away from the father with anger, eventually you never know if they meet how things will go. You need to make that child understand that your vex is not their vex. Whatever reason they choose not to be involved with their fathers, that is a damn issue. You must heal as a person to move forward. And this doesn't just apply for women, because a lot of men also, there are a few good men out there that find themselves in toxic relationships with women and they feel, oh, let's just give it another chance. No. When God puts a split in something, you let it be, you let it rest. In this life, you learn to forgive, but you learn to also set things free. Just because you forgave someone doesn't mean you have to run back to that person. You cannot run back to things that broke you mentally, emotionally, physically. You cannot run back to that. So when you listen to people's testimonies and all of that, make sure it fits your narrative. And for those women who do find themselves single, and also men who find themselves single with children, give yourself time to heal. Do not just jump into the next relationship because you want to find a suitable partner for your children. Learn to correct the mistakes you left from. If you do not correct your mindset, and if you do not heal, and if you do not learn how to respect yourself and create healthy boundaries for yourself, you would always end up in the same situation, just a different phase. And when you do find that partner, make sure you're ready to go 100 with them. In the sense that a lot of mothers out here, when they do settle and when they do find a very great man, an amazing man, he's a provider, he's a giver, he's a caretaker, whatever you want to call it, a perfect great man. The woman only accepts that man when it suits her. But when it comes to discipline and educating the child, all of a sudden that child becomes just hers. But when it comes to responsibilities, you want to push everything on the person, but you don't want the person to have a say-so in your child's life. And that is why I say you have to be ready for partnership when you're a single parent. And the truth is, this is exactly why most men do not want to get involved with single mothers, because they end up doing a lot of the work and you do not let them discipline that child. And I speak about great men. I'm not talking about someone you're just shacking up with who comes with all kinds of other toxic energies. No, I'm not speaking about that. I'm speaking about great men. And mothers, learn to listen to your children and observe their behavior. A lot of you will bring in straight up rapists into your homes and criminals into your homes, all in the name of you do not want to be alone. Oh, it's so difficult. Of course it's difficult. That's why before we lay down and have intercourse with people, we should take a second just to analyze. Is this going to work? I should protect myself. I should be safe. And when you know you're not with a great partner, don't make that mistake of having that child. Because something that could be a blessing could end up being a burden real quick. And for men also that find themselves being single fathers, please be careful the kind of women you put into your home. Because I just saw a story recently on TikTok of a stepmother who literally was sending the guy's child into prostitution, literally collecting money from this little girl. And because for some strange reason, parents are not having relationships with children, the kid couldn't even tell the father what was going on because she was threatened they would kill her. But if you raise your children right, it doesn't matter who threatens who, they will speak to you. Be careful, men, about the kind of women you put into your home. Some of them just want to be the only wife or the only girlfriend. Most of them do not have the emotional capability to take care of another woman's child. And most of them will destroy your children in the long run. And like I say, same goes to women. Do not just accept any man into your life just because you don't want to be alone and just because you don't want to split those checks. Your child, the second you become a parent, that child takes 90% of your everything. So again, I say, before you go listening to things out there, make sure it fits your narrative. If by any chance you split with a guy who was amazing and great and wonderful, and just because you're bitter, you don't want your child to be in connection with him, that's a different story. You would be selfish to keep your child away from a man like that. But if you know you came from a gutter of toxicity, let things be the way they are. Staying in a relationship that does not serve you will end up destroying that child in the long run. And for those of you who really do feel the need to come and tell me how you do not agree with my statement and you're going to be unfollowing me, please let the door not hit you on your way out, okay? You don't have to make such a grand announcement each time. Mama got time only for the good ones. Mwah!